I'm going to analyze the gait and posture for the Eskimo population as well as the African tribes that have the large gluteal regions. First one I'm going to do is the Eskimo culture from Canada and Alaska. The posture and gait of these people is affected by the cold environment as they inhabit very cold region. They adapt to this by wearing very thick and heavy clothing, and also by bundling themselves up, by bringing their limbs and their core, and by bringing their limbs and their head closer together. This actually keeps everything closer to their core, keeps everything warmer, and actually creates better blood flow to provide warmth. This position is far from ideal posture because there is less stacking of joints, and gravity creates larger torques on joints than desired. When it comes to the gait analysis for the Eskimos, they're going to have a less of a swing phase due to the fact that they kind of shuffle when they walk. There's very little time in a single leg stance. They spend a lot of time with both feet on the ground. Well, this is a way for them to remain stable when they're walking on ice. And these positions, these tightly bound positions are held throughout the day due to like a lack of heated home, and even at night these positions will also be held. So at no point in the day do they really open up consistently. They kind of stay where they're at. So this will just further alter their posture and their gait into these positions and to these habits. Now this will be kind of similar to me because I experience winter. Granted, it's not as extreme as the Eskimos, but I do the same things. I bundle up and I kind of tighten up, and even if I were to stand outside in the cold for a long time, I like to open up, kind of readjust it. So in the clinic in future, I can analyze gait and posture, all I want, but sometimes it might just be an acute change due to somebody maybe walking in the middle of January to therapy. So this culture is not completely different from mine due to the fact that I experience parts of their environment every year. But the biggest difference is that I can be outside for a few hours and get really cold, but I can go back home into a heated house, whereas Eskimos didn't. They were to go back home, it would still be cold, and they'd still maintain the poor posture and poor gait patterns that they have. The second, excuse me. Also, Eskimos never experience a real summer, so they're never really particularly warm, whereas I will, or many people do. Many people in my culture do. So for at least half of the year, we can open up our limbs. We don't need to be close in. We don't need to warm ourselves up. So that will actually allow us to get more of a swing phase in our gait, and to stack our joints better for posture. Excuse me. The second culture I'm going to talk about is the African tribe, where the women would store high amounts of fat and water in their gluteal region. This adaptation is similar to a camel, so it's likely due to the scarcity of food and water. So nutrients were stored somewhere, kind of like a camel, due to the lack of supply of food and water. This adaptation isn't really seen in the United States due to the fact that food and water is highly readily available all the time. But and nonetheless, an adaptation like this will affect both gait and posture. When it comes to posture, it's going to change the torques in the lower extremity. The hips are naturally extended, but doing this, the center of gravity is going to move further posterior, so the hips are going to be naturally more extended. And because of this posterior movement of the center of gravity, there's actually the possibility for a knee flexion torque and an ankle plantar flexion torque. And doing that to the knees and the ankles is going to require more muscle activation just to stand. So this will make a highly metabolically active posture as opposed to the efficiency that is desired for regular posture. When it comes to gait, there are a few adaptations that may occur because the center of gravity is in kind of an awkward and unnatural position. For gait, there may be a widened base of support, and also to control movement of the base of support, shorter steps might be taken to avoid falls during walking or running. I mean, like I said, like realistically, I'm probably not going to see somebody of this culture in practice, but the closest the closest similarity that I could see would be between the obese population of the United States. Granted, their posture won't be the same. An obese person would have more of a more of a flexed posture. But when it comes to gait, they may be very similar. They might have that really wide base of support with short steps to control the movement of their center of gravity, as well as a highly metabolically active um, posture. And again, we don't want that. We don't want to be expending a lot of energy when we're not doing anything. So these two studying these two, well, observing these two cultures in a museum kind of helped me open up my eyes to the small differences that will be between different people and how they can affect everyday things such as gait and posture.